They didn't fear his talent, they feared his existence. Long before the world knew his name, Woody Strode was already fighting forces far bigger than himself. Born in 1914 in Los Angeles, he entered a country that had already decided what black men were allowed to be, and more importantly, what they were never supposed to become. America was segregated by law, by violence, and by silence. Opportunity did not knock. It stayed locked behind doors guarded by fear. From the beginning, Woody stood out. He was bigger, stronger, and physically imposing in ways that unsettled people. But size for a black man in early 20th century America was not a gift. It was treated like a threat. Teachers watched him differently. Strangers crossed the street. Authority never gave him the benefit of the doubt. Still, he learned early that discipline could become armor. Strength could become control. Silence could become power. While the world expected him to shrink, Woody grew into himself with intention. He trained his body not for applause, but for survival. This was not the story of a boy chasing fame. This was the story of a boy learning how to stay alive in a country that saw him as a problem before he ever spoke a word. And that reality would follow him everywhere he went. Before he challenged the system, his body already had at UCLA. Woody Strode became something the system did not know how to process. He was an elite athlete, a member of the legendary Atomic Four, alongside Jackie Robinson. Together, they dominated football fields and track meets, rewriting what was physically possible. But outside the stadiums, reality snapped back hard. They could win championships on Saturday and still be denied service on Sunday. Hotels refused them rooms. Restaurants refused them food. Victories did not buy dignity. Records did not buy respect. Woody understood something early. Excellence did not protect black men. Sometimes it made them more dangerous in the eyes of the powerful. While scouts praised his performance, executives whispered behind closed doors. His size was described as too intimidating. His presence was labeled problematic. The compliments always came with conditions. Still, he pushed forward. Not because the system welcomed him, but because retreat was not an option. His body became his argument. His performance became his refusal. But America was not ready to let him win on his own terms. He did everything right, and they punished him anyway. When the NFL came calling, it should have been the culmination of years of sacrifice. Instead, it became another lesson in controlled exclusion. Woody played professionally, but opportunity came with invisible limits. He was present, but never fully accepted. Then came the quiet erasure. Without explanation, without warning, doors closed. Teams stopped calling. Careers stalled. There was no press conference, no scandal, just silence. This was how the system worked. You were not fired loudly. You were slowly starved of opportunity until you disappeared. Woody did not beg. He did not plead. He moved on. He wrestled. He survived. He adapted, but the message was clear. Excellence was allowed only within boundaries, and he had crossed them. Simply by existing to fully. America had no place for a man who could not be controlled, so he looked elsewhere. They paid him to stand still and say nothing. Hollywood noticed Woody Strode not as a thinker, not as an artist, but as a spectacle. His body was valuable. His voice was not. Roles came, but they were hollow, silent, subservient. He was cast as slaves, guards, figures, men who existed to be defeated or obeyed. Dialogue was optional. Dignity was not included. And yet, Woody accepted the roles carefully. Not because he agreed with them, but because survival required strategy. He studied the camera. He studied silence. He learned how presence alone could command attention. Behind the scenes, he refused humiliation. He refused caricature. He turned down roles that crossed moral lines. Even when money was tight, that refusal would cost him dearly. Hollywood remembered disobedience when he said no. They made sure he paid for it. The blacklist was never official. It never needed to be. Once Woody rejected roles that demeaned black people, calls slowed, then stopped. Studios labeled him difficult, a dangerous word in an industry built on obedience. But Woody did not bend. He understood something crucial. Once you accept humiliation publicly, you are owned privately. So he chose hunger over shame, silence over surrender. For years, he existed on the margins of the industry. Watching others take roles, he refused. Watching history move without him, younger actors rose faster. Louder names replaced quieter integrity. Hollywood kept spinning, pretending he was not standing just outside the frame, until one moment changed everything. In 4 minutes, he rewrote film history. In Spartacus, Woody played Draba, a gladiator forced to fight for Roman amusement, chained, displayed, reduced to entertainment. For men who believed power meant ownership, the script demanded obedience. Death on cue, submission to spectacle. But on set, Woody saw something else, an opportunity not written on the page, but carved into the moment. He understood the symbolism immediately. A black man killing another enslaved man for the pleasure of white elites was not just a scene, it was history repeating itself, so he pushed back. In the climactic scene, Draba wins. Instead of killing Spartacus, as ordered, he throws the weapon aside. He refuses. Then, he turns his rage upward, attacking the Roman elite. Fully aware it will cost him his life. That moment was not accidental. It was fought for. Insisted on, protected at personal cost. Woody argued that Draba would never kill a fellow slave for applause. He would rather die standing than live kneeling. The studio hesitated. The risk was obvious. A black man rejecting submission on screen was dangerous. But the scene stayed, and when audiences saw it, something shifted. For the first time, a black man on screen chose dignity over survival, resistance over compliance, death over submission. Not as a villain, not as a caricature, but as a moral force, cinema was never the same. America rejected him. Europe crowned him. While Hollywood hesitated, Europe recognized what it was looking at. Directors like Sergio Leone saw what America feared: myth presence, authority that did not beg to be understood. In Italian westerns, Woody was not decoration. He was gravity. When he entered a frame, silence followed. His characters did not explain themselves. They did not justify their existence. They simply were. There, his size became symbolism. His stillness became command. He was no longer asking permission to exist within someone else's story. He was shaping the story itself. Ironically, leaving America allowed him to finally be seen. He was no longer acting. He was declaring, as Shaka Zulu, Woody Strode reached the peak of his artistic power. This was not performance. It was embodiment. His posture carried generations. His gaze carried memory. His presence carried warning. He did not play Shaka as a savage. He played him as a strategist, a leader forged by invasion and betrayal, a man whose authority came from clarity, not cruelty. Audiences around the world finally understood what America had buried for decades. This was what power looked like without apology. This was what leadership looked like without permission. This was not a supporting role. This was legacy. He never chased applause. It followed him late. Recognition arrived slowly, almost reluctantly. Awards, honors, retrospectives, praise spoken when it was safe, when the fight had already taken its toll, but Woody did not resent the delay. He had already claimed something greater than trophies. He lived with dignity intact, choices owned, principles unbroken. He never traded his spine for comfort, never rented his image for approval. Few in any industry can say the same. They tried to silence him. History listened instead. Woody Strode was never just an actor. He was resistance made physical. A reminder that saying no echoes longer than applause, that integrity leaves fingerprints. Long after careers fade, he did not win by fitting in. He won by refusing to disappear. And that is why his story still matters today.
Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into Hollywood's hidden history.